The Weaver of the Dawn. Long ago, in a village where the fog never lifted, lived a weaver named Lyra. She was the finest artisan in the land, yet she was deeply unhappy. Every tapestry she made was gray, for there was no color in her world to inspire her. She spent her days at her heavy wooden loom, dreaming of a light she had never seen. One morning, a flash of brilliance landed on her windowsill. It was a bird with feathers like molten gold. This was Glint, a messenger from the lands beyond the mist. Lyra gasped, for she had never seen such a vibrant creature. Glint chirped a melody that sounded like an invitation to a great adventure. Glint took flight, heading toward the great peak that pierced the clouds. Lyra knew she had to follow. She packed her favorite silver needle and a spool of transparent silk, then stepped out into the cold, gray morning. The golden bird circled above her, guiding her through the tangled forests and toward the steep mountain trail. The climb was treacherous, the rocks were sharp, and the air grew thin. Lyra's hands were tired, but she didn't stop. She used her weaving skills to tie ropes of silk to the crags, pulling herself upward. The higher she went, the more the gray mist began to thin, revealing glimpses of a deep, endless blue. Near the summit, a giant figure made of swirling vapor stepped into her path. This was Calum, the guardian of the heights. He towered over Lyra, his voice sounding like the roll of distant thunder. "Why does a weaver from the valley seek the sun?" he asked, his eyes shimmering like raindrops. "I wish to bring the light home," Lyra replied bravely. "My people live in shadows, and I want to weave the morning for them." Calum smiled, and his vaporous form softened. He reached into the heart of a passing cloud and pulled out a shuttle made of pure, polished wind. He handed it to Lyra, sensing her noble heart. Lyra reached the very top of the world just as the sun began to rise. She stood on the peak, the shuttle in her hand. Below her was a sea of clouds, and above her, the sky exploded into shades of pink, orange, and gold. It was more beautiful than any dream she had ever had. With Glint circling overhead, Lyra began to weave right there in the air. She used the wind shuttle to catch the golden rays of the sun and the soft pink of the morning clouds. She worked with a frantic, joyful energy, her fingers moving like lightning as she captured the very essence of the dawn. When she returned to her village, Lyra sat back down at her old loom. But she didn't use her gray wool. She used the threads of light she had gathered on the mountain. As she worked, her cottage began to glow, and the fog outside the window started to melt away, chased by the warmth of her creation. Lyra stepped outside and draped the cloak of mornings over the town square. A young boy named Silas was the first to see it. He touched the fabric, and for the first time in his life, he saw the color of the sun. The village was gray no more, for Lyra had taught them that even in the deepest mist, the dawn is always waiting to be found.